Are you a business owner or employee who needs to network but is terrified of walking into a room full of people you don't know? Are you afraid of being left out of conversations or being awkward in the conversations you do have? Your tour guide, Faithann, is here to walk alongside you through the networking terrain, offering tips and tricks to network with ease. She'll also bring insightful interviews with successful business owners who have used networking to expand their businesses. Building relationships is the heart of networking, and generosity is the cruise ship that will navigate you toward those important relationships for your business or career. Grab your sunscreen and suitcase. Faithann is ready. Are you?
Hello there, and welcome to the Networkers Tour Guide podcast. I'm your host, Faithann. I'm glad you found the show. Networking is providing opportunities for others that they would not have except for you, so that you have standing to ask for those opportunities from those same people when you need them. How do we create opportunities for others, and how do we ask for those same opportunities? Well, that's what this podcast is all about. It's what I'm here for. Let's dive into episode 18. In this episode, I have another great guest, Nate Howell with Advantec Solutions. Nate, thanks for coming on to the podcast.
My pleasure. Glad to be here.
Nate is another fellow BNI member. BNI stands for Business Networking International, and I actually was the one who invited him into the group, and he joined.
Mm-hmm.
And we're on our series of elevator pitches, how to have the perfect elevator pitch. And the reason why I asked you on, Nate, is because you have some really great pitches that really paint pictures. So I'll let you, first tell us a little bit about Advantec Solutions.
Yeah. Well, first, thanks for inviting me. This is always great. We are an IT services provider. So they call us an MSP, managed service provider. So that means we're not really a break-fix computer company. We are the type of company that really commits to being proactive with our clients. We provide cybersecurity. We provide remote help desk. We can actually build servers and computers. We can help with Wi-Fi and networking. So it's basically, if you were to hire an IT person to be your IT department, we would be the same, except we're outsourced. We're insourced in the fact that we are in Oklahoma. We have all our employees, they're American-based. We have one in New Mexico as well with one of our other clients. But so we're basically become your IT department.
And you do have a number of users that you kind of like to look for, right?
Yeah. Ideally, we are looking at kind of they're considered small to mid-sized companies, but any companies with 10 computer users or more, a lot of our clients are kind of in that 15 to 30, but that's kind of our goal, is to get companies that have enough that can afford to have an outsourced IT department, but is a company that can utilize our expertise, our resources, our education and knowledge, all that good stuff.
And so are you the person, or are you the company that would keep somebody from having to hire an IT person?
Yeah, and that's part of our unique selling position, is that we basically show a company that is considering that how much they could actually save. Whereas opposed to you hire an IT person, if they get sick or go on vacation, you're limited as to what kind of resources and help you can get. With hiring us, you have a team. So there's a group of people that can kind of take over. They know you, they know your systems, they're trained on the software that you're using, all that good stuff. So we are very, as far as flexible when it comes to the type of clients we can help. It's pretty much anybody, but it's a team and not just a kind of a one-man band.
Can you help anybody in the world, or is it local? We
have the ability, and matter of fact, this last year or two, we've expanded to help our clients in California, New Mexico, Texas, Missouri, Kansas. We have the ability to remote in anywhere, and 90% of what we do is remote support anyways. You know, someone's having problems with email or network, or they're having performance issues with their systems. We can see if, their CPU is overheating, or there's a problem with data, taking up too much space on a hard drive. We can detect and help remediate that remotely anyway. So
it's so convenient, man.
Yeah, it's a game changer. It's expanded our reach quite a bit.
Okay, well, now that we know a little bit about what Advantec Solutions does, you've been in the group. Do you remember when you joined?
2019.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 5 years, basically,
Yeah.
a little over 5.
And before we get into your elevator pitch, what's been the most surprising, and I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this,
Sure.
sorry, but what's been the most surprising thing that you have learned by being in a BNI specific chapter in networking?
Surprising, I would probably say how much of the relationship building is involved. It's not just this surface type of business referral. You're really getting to know the people you meet with every week. I think that's a big thing. The way BNI is set up is you do business with those you like, know, and trust. And the only way you can really do that is if you get to know people. So the one-to-ones and the events and the Christmas parties, and again, that's all the fun stuff, but that's when you really get to know people. And I think I was surprised at how quickly I just gained like 25 new friends.
Oh, that's great.
And it was awesome because really in a sales type of environment, we don't need more customers. We need more friends. I mean, we need to be
Right.
able to trust if I send you someone, you're going to take it seriously, follow up, give them the best, service and budget that I would expect you to do for me. So
Right.
it's all reciprocal.
One of my favorite portions of our meeting that we do every week, it's called Testimonials.
Mm,
And I just love it because you can really change the course of someone's day,
yeah.
especially if they are what we call the featured speaker. They have a little bit more time.
Mhm.
And then it comes to the testimonial portion, and you have like 8 or 9 testimonials. You just walk out of there on cloud 9 because often with business owners, we don't get told enough
Right.
how much we're appreciated and how much our work is a positive addition to somebody's life, because we're business owners and we seem from afar, we seem put together and
Hmm.
competent.
Yeah.
But it's nice to hear, Nate helped me. He came in and he was able to get our systems running, and I would highly recommend Nate. It's right there in your face, and
Yeah.
it's so important to have that camaraderie and build relationship building.
Yeah, and I think that's the great thing about having a consistent weekly meeting. You know that if you got service from somebody in the group, they came out, they worked on your air conditioner in the middle of summer. Again, to them, it's routine. That's what they do, but they may not know the story behind it and how it impacted. Like, hey, my daughter's 16th birthday was this weekend. I had 12 girls staying the night, and it was 100 degrees outside, and it was going to be miserable. But, Will came out and fixed everything up for the house, and it was, it just totally shifted the whole sense of the party, and we had a great time because of that, and it really saved us. To hear that, people don't, unless you're getting Google reviews all the time or testimonials online, which that's hard to do. People just
Yes.
they don't really do it unless you go and ask for it. But to hear it and to hear the stories, I think that's a game changer. And you definitely walk out of the meeting feeling good about yourself and proud about your team and the way you do your business. So I think that's important. That's a really good way to end a meeting too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what better way to go out into the world and serve your clients is with that confidence boost. All right, so let's get into the elevator pitch, and I'm going to let you talk about the one you do the most commonly, or the one that sticks out to me, because you paint a picture.
Mm-hmm.
You are not broad, you are specific,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes it easy to at least know when we're in front of your ideal clients. So go ahead and tell us what you sometimes will ask for.
Yeah, so I think an important thing, and of course you'll hear this on all the BNI podcasts and everyone that you talk to, is like you don't go in cold. Try to have something prepared, even if it's a baseline, and then you adjust it based on the climate or the temperature of what's going on in the world. So recently, I had kind of my spiel, but it's also like, hey, TikTok's a big thing going on right now. It's relevant to the news. It's relevant to people. A lot of people's kids are on it. A lot of people use it for their business. It was shut down for a day, came back on. What's going on? So you tie in what's going on in the world, or you tell stories in a short amount of time that's relevant to what people may be used to. I try to keep it relevant, obviously, but also bring it back to what the core differences between our company and another IT company. We use acronyms and we use different things. So like we say, when you think of Advantec, think of SLAM. SLAM is, so our service level is awesome. Our phones are answered live. We have an A+ team with A+ BBB rating, and then minutes matter. 7 minutes is what we respond to and how we differentiate. We answer our phones live, all that stuff. So, and then moving from that, we go into who our target is, who we're chasing. We have a pretty consistent funnel of clients that we're always looking to acquire or market to. And it's good to have names because people recognize a name, especially if they know who they are or if it's an organization that they've dealt with in the past. So coming in with an actual name of a person or a name of a company is one of those things is like, they may not have thought about it for a year or two. They may have dealt with them 2 years ago, but jogging a memory with specific information really resonates with people to say, oh yeah, I do have them in my contacts list. Let me reach out. It's a process of being consistent, being able to adapt and change it with what's going on in the world, but then ending with a very specific, here's who we're looking for. This is the name of the company we want. This is the name of the person that's the decision maker. How can you help?
And you do that, but the best out of all of us. You almost every week, you're saying, I'm looking for the person, and usually you have a name, or at least you say, I'm looking for somebody at this such and such charter school.
Right.
Now, like the people in the room, you make it so easy for us. Now, you might say, well, what if nobody knows that person? Well, that's okay. I think that it's better to err on the side of asking specifically, because now that referral is going to be pretty easy if somebody in the room either knows that organization or has some tie to it.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to use your 60 seconds. And I tell this with Joanne last week. It's your 60 seconds. It's undivided attention. And so many people do not think of it as a treasure.
Right.
They just think of it as ordinary, as that minute is the same as the other 59 minutes in the meeting, and it's not.
No.
If you're smart, you're going to be like, no, this is my 60 seconds, and I'm going to use it strategically to ask for introductions, because networking is about providing opportunities for others so that when you need those opportunities, you have standing to go ask. And so you're saying, listen, I need an opportunity. Do you have the ability to make this happen for me?
Yeah. And if I'm not willing to put in the time and the effort to educate my group, which is, a room full of salespeople working for you, that's how we start our meetings every week. If I'm not taking the time to do it, why would I expect you to do it?
Right.
Why would I expect you to go do the hard work? And I want to make it easy for you to refer to me. I want to educate you on exactly what I want so that there's not a wasted effort. And if I'm giving you more specifics, then I know it's easier for you to bring that up in a conversation or to look at your contacts and say, yes, I know this person, but I got to be willing to put in the work if I expect others to.
Right. 100%. Givers gain.
Hi, listeners. Are you someone who struggles to make a great first impression when you meet others? Faithann has put together her guide to help you make a great first impression no matter where you are. This quick guide gives you simple tips to leave a powerful first impression, the first step to relationship building. Go grab this free resource today by clicking on the impressions link in the show notes.
Now, you have another one sometimes that you do. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. So storytelling.
Yeah.
So we have learned that in getting people to remember you, there's two words that people perk up at when you're having a conversation is when you say, for example.
Oh.
When you hear for example, it's like, okay, now I'm going to hear a story. I'm going to hear an example. I'm going to hear a sample of real life situation. So for us, we'll think of situations with our own clients or with those we're pursuing. So like the veterinary clinic. We like vet clinics. We've signed on 3 in the last couple of years. It's kind of a niche we're looking for. A lot of people have animals. So that's an easy intro. Hey, do you have an animal? Do you have a pet? Yes. Okay. Do you take them to the vet? Oh, absolutely. We love our pet. We want to make sure they're healthy. Okay. So have you ever been at a veterinary clinic? Fluffy just got a shot. She's not very happy. People are walking in with their dogs. Everything's tense. You're trying to check out and pay your bill and get the heck out of there. But the lady at the counter is trying to process your credit card and their internet is slow and their computer isn't updated. And now you're stressed out and you're just trying to get out of there. So those are examples and samples of real life situations that hopefully that resonates with someone's like, yeah, I kind of remember that. I was there, or I was talking to somebody on the phone and they were like, "Oh, sorry, it's delayed. My computer's so slow." Oh, really? Who does your IT? Why would you, still be with them if they're if your systems
Right.
but you have to tell those stories to get
Exactly.
people to think about that. Don't expect them to be out there doing all the work for you, coming to you with those examples. You have to give those real world scenarios so that when they spot it or hear it, it's like, "Oh, Nate talked about that last week. This
Right.
is a good opening. I should say something and say, hey, do you use IT services? No, or if you do, are you happy with them? And I have a guy you should talk to. Can I send him your information?" And just those warm referrals are always great, but you got to have something to resonate with those storytelling. So
Yeah. And so everybody, as you're describing, and the better you do this, and you do a pretty good job, the more we can picture that situation. We're putting ourselves in your story. Oh yeah, I could see how if I've got a Doberman pulling and the computer's slow, that would be a pain.
Yeah.
And I had no idea you could help with that. That's the other thing too, is so often we don't know the problems that you're solving. We just know a shadow.
right.
We know a shadow of what you do, but we don't know specific problems that you're solving for people
Yeah.
unless you tell us.
Yeah, and you have to be specific because people hear IT is like, "Oh, you're the guys that just turn off my computer and turn it back on." Oh, that's great. I can do that.
Right.
Well, no, we do so much more. It's
Right.
like, it's payroll. It's Thursday. Checks go out tomorrow, and your system's locked up because it's going through an upgrade or an update, and it's at 12%. It's been stuck there for 2 hours. Well, what do you do? Well, if you had an IT person, we could be there to help. We could remote in. If there's an issue, we actually come to the location at no extra charge. It's part of our monthly plan. That's why we set up tech support employees in locations where we have clients. So, we make sure that it's all wrapped up. We're not nickel and diamond for different things, but people won't know that unless you tell them, and you tell them those stories like, yes, okay. Have you ever been in the big project and you're trying to get it out, or you're trying to get payroll done, or you're trying to turn in a proposal that affects your revenue? It's pretty important to have your technology working. It's pretty important that you meet those deadlines. And if you don't, how much does that cost you? How much is it costing your company, your downtime, your bottom line? And you may not know it until the end of the year when you're like, "Oh, wow, our profit isn't where it should be." You just have to tell those stories and keep it in the forefront of people's mind when they're in those situations so that comes up.
Yeah. Now you need to use that, because I don't think I've ever heard you use that
Yeah.
specific of where the payroll the next day.
Yeah.
That's something you need to use. And then I learned something. You said when you use the word "for example," then people expect a story.
Yeah.
So they perk up.
Absolutely.
That's a great tip,
Yeah.
because I didn't know that. So I'm going to be using that in my next 60
Oh,
second. I'm going
yeah.
to say, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't it the funnest thing is when you do your elevator pitch, especially now I'm talking about maybe at a different B&I group or at a different kind of networking group where people don't know you quite as well. And you say your thing and they come right up to you and they say, "I need your thing. I need your card." And why is that? It's
Yeah.
because you made it easy for them.
Yeah.
You have put the picture in their mind, and they put themselves in your story. So maybe if you're asking, "I'm looking for your friend who has just taken her dog to the clinic," and the whole situation there with the slow computer. But if they're the person
Right.
that maybe they own a vet clinic,
Right.
and they're on the other side of that, they'll walk up to you and they'll say, "We need to talk," because of how well you have utilized that 60 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's one of the most fun things that happens when I network. I love it when people come right up to me afterwards
Yeah.
and they say, "I need to talk to you."
Yeah. It's the best. And you've touched something that's relevant to their life, their work, whatever experience. And it's hard to get out of a room without someone actually approaching you if it's really resonated. And that's what you have to do. You have to differentiate yourself. And I get in some industries, it's like, well, we're looking for anyone that owns a house. We're looking for anyone. Okay, well, if that's the case, then tell a story that might resonate with your group. And sometimes you have to know your audience. So like if we're going to a networking event and we kind of see who's attending, and sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but you get a general feeling, I will try to kind of do something specific to maybe an industry I know that's in there. So if it's I don't know, if I know there's going to be someone in there that works like in office supplies, they help their clients get supplies and paper and all that stuff. if I know that they're dealing with companies, I'll look at specific things like, hey, if their order is delayed because your website isn't working well and it got messed up and the invoice didn't show up, that makes you look bad. So I'll try to come up with a story or something that resonates with them to say like, yeah, we need to really look at that because we've had experiences like that in the past and we don't want that to happen again. So it's one of those things where you just have to be able to know your audience, differentiate, and then tell those stories.
Yeah. We talked about that last week with Joanne. We talked about how in a more advanced situation, you can curtail your pitch to somebody that you've just talked to right before.
Yeah.
However, if you're just new, say your prepared thing, you know, and I highly recommend that if you're going to do any networking at all, and you know there is a component where you are going to have the floor, don't try and do it on the fly because you'll stumble over your words. You'll either ramble and you'll go past their time, and if there's not a time, you're going to go past the ingrained attention span of the room, regardless of a timer, or you're not going to say enough because you're going to be like scared. And so prepare something. But then what you said, curtail to the audience, is a great way is a way for people to come up to you right afterwards and say, we need to talk, or, hey, you're describing my friend, you're describing my neighbor, you're describing my business partner.
Yeah.
We need to talk.
Yeah. I think that's the other reason it's so important to get to these things early.
Yeah.
Or when it says 7:30 to 7:45 networking before the meeting, take advantage of that. I know a lot of people, they're pushing their schedules tight. They only have time for what they can, but it's important to get there and greet people as they're coming in and really talk about, especially with visitors and people that are, one, it makes them feel more comfortable, and everybody likes talking about themselves. I mean, anytime you have someone new to the room, have your few questions. What do you do? How long have you been doing it? What made you get into this business? Everyone loves answering those questions, and then it reciprocates, and that's when the conversation gets going. But that's how you get to know who's in the room, and that those networking minutes are important.
All right. Well, thank you. I want to ask you 2 questions before you leave. What do you like to see in networking, what people are doing or saying, and what do you not like?
What I like to see in networking, that's a good question. I would say building on the relationship after the meeting and really getting to deep dive into what people do and look at who their last 10 clients have been. So really getting to know the members and who you're meeting with. Even if you go to a chamber event or a mix and mingle or some of these other ones, don't just go and expect to just get a slew of business. You really, I think following up and having a one-to-one afterwards, regardless of what networking event you're doing, is important. And I like it when people set those as soon as possible. You know, try to do it quickly. Get one-to-one set up, especially if you've had a conversation with them and there's some interest, or if you're interested in what they're doing or selling or service they're providing, try to do that and do it quickly.
Yeah, so, at the meeting, really.
At the meeting, really. I mean, pull your calendar out. You got your phone. We have all this technology. Let's use it. Let's make it effective and try to get it scheduled. I think what I don't like, giver's gain is a big thing to me. I think when people come in with the intention of only kind of, oh, this group isn't for me, no one can help me. That, it's the wrong mindset. And again, if it's not a group that would really assist in your growth at some point, I understand, but you'd be surprised at who knows who. And coming in with the right mindset and knowing that, okay, maybe these few people can't help me, but let's have one-to-ones and find out who their service providers are, who are their vendors. You know, coming in with the right attitude, I think, is very helpful. But I think that's what's great about BNI, is having a membership committee and doing a deep dive on who the applicants are and really research them and know if they're going to take it serious or not, do the time commitment, all that good stuff. It's having the right mindset, I think, is key. And if you don't, that just, if you come in and it's just me, that just puts me off. And
leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Exactly.
Very good stuff. I love that tip about, for example. Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah. Where can people find you?
We're in Oklahoma City. You can find us online at advantecsolutions.com or give us a call. We answer our phones live. We don't like voicemail. So if you call someone, a real person's, that's one of the things we have not automated. It's good to have a real live person on the phone. So 405-949-2000, easy number to remember.
Spell Advantec.
So Advantec is ADVANTEC, and then solutions with an S on the end.com. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, My Business, and we're proactively posting a lot of content these days. Educational stuff. Windows 10 is end of life this year. That's a big thing because the Windows 11 specs are a little bit more stringent. So a lot of people may have to upgrade their hardware. We're definitely wanting to help businesses with that. So definitely give us a call if we can help. We'd love to be of assistance.
All right. Well, thanks, Nate. And remember, listeners, take Nate's trick and ask for an introduction to a specific person or a specific industry. Don't be afraid to use that in your elevator pitch and say, I'm looking for somebody in this specific organization. Do you know this person, or do you know anybody at this organization? Take that and use it for yourself.
You've been listening to the Networkers Tour Guide podcast with Faithann Basor. Share this episode with a friend and be sure to come back next week for more networking tips and tricks from the Networkers Tour Guide.